really matters? That might be the most important question you can ask. So let's talk about it. Welcome to What Really Matters podcast. This is Karen Wyatt, and today in this brief episode, I want to talk a little bit about getting through the down times. And this is coming up for me because right now I happen to be in a downtime. It's been around for maybe 2 weeks or so that I've been waking up in the morning feeling just a little bit of despair. And some days it's heavier than others. Some days I walk around throughout the entire day feeling like I'm dragging a little bit of depression and negativity with me wherever I go. And I'm having a hard time getting rid of it and lifting it off of myself. And I suddenly realized today that I've actually been putting my energy into trying to get rid of this darkness and despair that I'm feeling. I am rejecting it. I've decided I don't like it. I don't want to feel this way. It's not how I normally feel or how I should feel. And I'm using air quotes around the words normally and should. And so I've been pushing myself in various ways to try to have more energy, to try to feel better, to try to be happier. And what I've realized is that what I'm not doing is just allowing the downtime, the darkness, the depression, the despair to be there with me. I'm not allowing it to have its place. I'm not embracing it. I'm not looking at it. And I understand I've learned enough in this life and on my own spiritual path to know that that's not really the right way to handle any emotions. It's important that we sit with whatever it is that we feel. But how fascinating is it that over and over again, that's the one little piece of wisdom that sometimes goes missing. Sometimes I just don't remember that, hey, instead of pushing this away from me, I need to turn around and face it and embrace it. And I just happened to reread a poem from Rumi that has meant a lot to me in the past that I sort of forgot about, but it was such a good reminder. I wanted to share it with you just in case you, like me, are having some down times recently. And this is Rumi's poem, The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Now, most likely you've heard that poem before or read it somewhere. It's fairly popular, but I just love the image of opening the door to the guest house and finding someone there that you really didn't want to have to meet, like my despair this morning when I woke up. I slammed the door on the despair and tried to shut it out and not let it in because I didn't want to face whatever the despair was going to tell me or was bringing to me. But it's so clear that that just is not the right way to handle these emotions that arise for us for whatever reason. And clearly, I'm not going to understand why the despair or depression is here if I don't allow it in and I don't face up to it and let it be with me. And even if I do accept it, I may still not understand what it's about. I don't know. Maybe I'm experiencing something that's from the collective or that has to do with the energy of the universe, whatever is flowing down to the planet right now. I don't even know. It could be something beyond me or outside of me. But I do know for certain that, like Rumi's guest house, I need to open the door and I need to welcome in these dark feelings and dark times, because they can be rich sources of information, of knowledge, healing, wisdom, of possible transformation for the future. And all of this energy and time that I've invested over the past 2 weeks of trying not to feel what's actually there has obviously made me even more tired and has left me feeling even more down and even more in despair. And so I'm spinning my wheels. I'm not making anything better with the way I've chosen to handle things. So Rumi's poem inspires me to want to embrace and accept this darkness that is around me now for whatever reason, and to embrace it whether or not I learn anything, whether or not I grow, simply because it's there. It's what is. It's a part of me. It's part of my life experience right now. And to go a little bit further, not only should I not be rejecting the despair and the depression that I feel right now, I also should not be rejecting the fact that I'm rejecting it, if that makes any sense. I also need to embrace the fact that part of me is reluctant to face those emotions and to feel those feelings, and that's okay too. That's normal. It's all right that I'm reluctant to feel it, but it's up to me to figure out how to change my mindset and my attitude and turn myself around just a little bit so that I can face those down feelings that are surrounding me right now, and just learn to be with them and live with them for a while. And another thing that, of course, I've learned really well after a fairly long life here and all of my journeys and travels spiritually in the world, is that this too shall pass. Everything comes to an end at some point. So even the despair and the down feelings, they're not going to last very long. They will go away. They will come to an end. I don't have to worry that I'm going to feel this way forever. I already know from past experience, these feelings will pass. I will wake up one day and I'll forget that I even went through these feelings. So I don't need to despair about my despair right now. I can simply accept that it's okay to not always feel joyful, to not always feel happy and energized, to not always feel optimistic and positive. It's okay to some days be brooding a little bit, to some days feel a little bit of heaviness around the shoulders, to have a bit of a dark cloud hanging overhead, and even to have our vision clouded a little bit with negativity. It's all right. That's what is. So I am making a promise to myself that each day I'm going to accept whatever is there, whatever comes knocking at the door of my guest house. I'm going to let it in. And I'm going to let it do whatever it does when it comes in. And I'm simply going to be. I'm just going to sit and observe and be a witness of my feelings and my emotions, whatever they turn out to be in this moment. So I hope if you are going through a similar time right now, that you'll feel inspired to open up your guest house as well and accept whatever is coming your way. Because the more we open the door, the more we make room for the joy that is waiting to come to us as well. And I will follow up, and I'm going to report back when the joy returns to me and give you a little more of the story whenever I have more understanding of it. But meanwhile, if you are feeling darkness or despair, or even just a little bit down right now, just know that you're not alone and there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. So go easy on yourself. Open the door to your guest house. Allow those feelings to walk in and be with you no matter what they intend for you. And I hope that together we will work through these times and we'll see each other when different visitors come to the door of our guest houses. Until the next episode, I hope you'll remember that we're here for love, even though we have to go through the hard times, the down times, the despair, and the depression. Love is still really what it's all about. So face your fear and your pain. Be ready for whatever happens next, and love each and every moment of your precious life. Bye-bye.